of All This and Heaven Too, starring Charles Boyer as the Duc de Prelin and Bette Davis as Henriette Desportes. Standing before her class in Miss Haynes' school, the notorious Mademoiselle D continues her story. In a quiet voice, she tells them of a governess in a French home, a girl admired by the master, loved by the children, and hated by the mistress.
Renald lived somehow through that night, and the next, and the one after. And then at last he began to grow stronger, and they knew the danger was past. Madame la Duchesse left the house to visit her father in Corsica, and when she returned, her father was with her, the Marechal Sebastiani. Together they accused the governess of stealing the love of the Duke and the children. It was not true, of course, but the suspicion was enough to make the governess leave. Her trunk was already packed when Monsieur le Duc pleaded with her to stay. She did stay, against her better judgment. From that night on, life was horrible in that house.
Good evening, monsieur.
Who are you?
I am Charpentier.
Charpentier?
Your new valet, monsieur.
Since when are you my new valet?
Since this evening, monsieur, when the Marechal Sebastiani was kind enough to employ me.
Oh, the Marechal hired you.
Yes, monsieur.
How thoughtful of the Marechal.
Shall I prepare you for bed now, monsieur?
No, thank you. I'm quite capable of preparing myself for bed.
Is there anything I can do for you, monsieur?
Yes, you can get out. Tell your master, the Marechal, I will give him a complete report of my activities in the morning. But get out!
Yes, monsieur.
Always like that. Servants spying, suspicion, hatred. Early that fall, the family was to leave for the country house in Melun. Madame refused to go.
I won't go. Not with that woman you've chosen to replace me with.
There were tears and threats.
I'll put myself out of your way. I'll never trouble you again. I'll kill myself.
In the end, the governess left with the children. They stayed at Melun for a few weeks. And then the Duke arrived, alone. One evening, after the children were asleep, he and the governess sat laughing over some silly joke. The Duke was in a very gay humor.
You see, I can conceal nothing. Even an old friend reminds me that I am next door to being a grandfather.
That's ridiculous. Here at Melun, you're the youngest child of all.
Why shouldn't I be? Mademoiselle, don't we all like to hark back to the time when we were the happiest? Here at Melun, I can forget. But what about you? We've always talked about the children. It's been Mademoiselle this and Monsieur that. There's been so much I've wanted to know about you.
What shall I say?
Well, did you have a happy childhood?
Well, I was alone. There was my grandfather, but he never quite forgave me for having been born. He had his reasons.
Was that why you became a governess? Because you were alone? I've often wondered.
Since I love children, what better?
Marriage? You would grace any home.
I can never marry, monsieur.
Can you tell me why you say that?
There is some mystery in my birth, just what grandfather would never tell me. Either his son married someone beneath him, or it was worse than that. It hasn't always been pleasant to live with this blank in my life. I feel like one of those silhouettes artists cut from black paper. Just the outlines of a person standing against nothing.
How dreadful for you.
Oh, forgive me. I really don't want to make you feel sorry for me. I have the children, and if they're not mine, I sometimes imagine they are. And when I tuck them into bed and know they will wake up in the morning still loving me, life is good.
Well, of course, I should not quarrel with the good fortune that brought you to our house. But as your friend, I could wish you something quite different.
What, monsieur?
Well, it would make me most happy to think of you seated in a chair before your own fire, with your own children playing near at hand, and your own husband looking at you and counting his blessings.
Thank you, monsieur. I must go up to the children now.
No, please don't go. Don't even move.
Why?
Oh, I might say don't move because as you sit there, the firelight is so beautiful on your hair. I might say don't move because it is All Souls' Day and you mustn't disturb the spirits. And then again, I might say don't move because this is a moment so full of understanding that I can't bear to have it come to an end.
Monsieur, you're very kind.
I know you're tired. It's been a long day.
No, I'm not tired. I'm frightened.
Would you have preferred I hadn't come here to Milan?
Oh, no, and I can't deny it's been beautiful here these few days, and I've tried not to think of the accounting you will have to give.
Whatever comes, I promise you that you will not have to face it.
This time I can't help feeling that you will pay dearly.
I always pay. Sometimes I pay most for what I never had. It is not unfair that for a few days I have had what it is beyond my power to ever pay for.
I beg you, monsieur.
These few hours, this little glimpse of what life might have been, I haven't asked for more.
No.
And if it had been only 1 hour or 1 minute, it would have been worth throwing away everything for.
Knowing that it could never last.
It will last, as long as it is remembered.
Monsieur?
Who is that?
Monsieur, forgive me, but the Marechal and Madame la Duchesse have arrived.
Just a moment, Mademoiselle de Lucy.
Madame, I thought Monsieur is downstairs.
I know where Monsieur is. This time you've gone too far, Mademoiselle de Lucy. You are to leave this house into which you've brought evil and sin.
Yes, Madame, there is evil in this house. But it was here before I came. It was not I who brought it.
What intrigue there is beneath your mask of innocence. It wasn't enough for you to be a governess. You must conspire to become the mistress of my house, to steal away everything that was mine, the affections of my children.
Affections cannot be stolen, Madame. They are given freely or not at all.
We won't consider the children.
You never have, Madame. You've never given them a thought, except a jealous one, because he noticed them.
And you use them to attract him, to separate him from me.
It can't be possible that you have finally deceived yourself into believing that.
Are you without one shred of decency? How dared you entice him to come to you here? To confess that you and he, to admit openly, without delicacy, that...
Why do you stop? I challenge you to accuse me.
I'm not here to accuse. I'm here to dismiss an unsatisfactory servant. If you will agree to leave without making a disturbance, I'll help you to get another position. I'll send you a letter clearing your name of scandal, praising you as the most excellent of governesses, affirming that you're leaving of your own free will.
But, Madame, what are the children? I promised Monsieur that you...
You needn't worry. A man who has found it so easy to replace a wife will not find it difficult to replace a governess.
Of this madness. To believe that you and I, here, with the children here.
Monsieur.
All right, you were. To think that we could escape, even from one moment, from their pious hypocrisy. Sometimes I think they'll never stop until I'm mad. Forgive me, Harriet.
We both knew how it had to end.
Yes. And deep in our hearts, we've known that if ever you go away, I will go too.
Oh, no.
Wherever you go, I will go.
Please, Monsieur. It would be so easy to do something we would regret.
No. To stay here and see you go, that I would regret. I couldn't bear it. To say your name and not have you answer. Oh, please, don't leave me.
Don't you see, Monsieur? If you were to come away with me, then they would be right. Once I was leaving, you asked me to stay, and it was because of the children that you asked it. But now... Monsieur, I came into your house. In your unhappiness, you reached out your hand for help. And in my loneliness, I took it. And we have had such a friendship as is given to very few.
But where will you go? What will you do?
I will have my work. There will be other positions, other children.
Will it be any comfort to you to know that when you are gone, my only happiness will be in knowing that I am sharing your loneliness?
Bless you. Monsieur, will you say goodbye to the children for me?
Yes, of course, if you wish.
Please, I wouldn't know what to tell them.
All I can say is that I can't wait on and on and on. How long has it been? Almost 8 months.
I know. I'm sorry about the rent money, Madame la Maire. I never intended to be a burden to you.
And I never intend to let you, mademoiselle.
If you wish me to leave.
Nonsense. Where would you go?
I don't know.
All right, yet let's be practical. You know the fix you're in as well as I do. A governess has only one stock in trade, and that's her good name. You threw yours away.
Surely you don't believe that.
Well, when I was young, they used to say that people only threw stones at trees that were loaded with fruit.